What should we do next? What should we do next?
It's too much.
Do we need them out of the way?
Do we need them out of the way?
Yeah, just,
let's explain it again.
If you're new, I'm sort of on a bit of a mission to find out, you know, we've got a lot of animals and insects in the world and stuff.
Yeah.
Do we need them all?
It still amuses me.
So we've found out we've got to keep jellyfish. We've done octopus. She said we've got to keep them. This week, snails.
Do we need them?
Just doing some research, right? I'm sort of working my way through different creatures and insects and stuff that's on the planet.
Yeah.
Right? And finding out if we need them or not. Right?
Yeah.
Do you know much about snails?
What, sea snails?
Well, yeah.
Snails in general. Don't know much about snails, land snails. Know a bit about sea snails, like whelks, top shells, that sort of thing.
Would you say they're important?
What sort of sense do you mean by important?
Say if we had to sort of get rid of some animals and insects and that because we're running out of room.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Because I'll tell you what I know about some snails. I don't know if this applies to sea snails as well. I mean, I called you today because a lot of other places are shut.
Yeah.
Right? So, I know they like to eat stamps, apparently. The glue on stamps. They love it. Right?
Right.
Apparently a lot of letters and stuff aren't getting to where they're meant to be getting because snails are crawling into letterboxes and eating the stamps. That obviously doesn't apply to the sea ones. But that's a problem they're causing.
All right.
Were you aware of that?
No, I didn't know that.
Bet you're glad you answered the phone today. Right? They love beer.
Beer, yeah, who doesn't?
And also, I don't know if this is right, but I heard that they sleep for 13 years, or can do.
Right, I wouldn't know if they can sleep for 13 years or not, but... I mean, sea snails are pretty important, yeah, they do quite a good job in the sea. They graze on algae and they provide food for other animals. I mean, you can say that about any fish, you know, or any animal. Why do they exist?
Would you be upset if, you know, someone said we're getting rid of them?
Oh yeah.
You would be.
They're an animal, you know. I wouldn't.
Forget being like favouritism and all that I get for them, right? There'll be other things knocking around you can sort of spend your time looking after. You'll still have a job. Don't be worrying about that. Because I'm not going to get rid of all the fish. Jellyfish need looking after, so you're safe.
Yeah.
But do we need them? Come on, there's loads of people saying, come on, we've got to move on through the animals, and you're holding them up saying, well, I want to keep them.
Well, who's saying we need to... That just sounds a bit crazy to me.
Just imagine. Do you know what I mean? And they would come to you because you work in an aquarium, so they'd be asking for your advice.
Right.
And you're slowing it down.
Well, they asked my advice and I'm giving it to them, so, you know, that's what I think, anyway.
Yeah, but snails, you know, I mean, like I say, they drink beer and that, you know. What do they do apart from some food for a whelk?
They were around, their descendants were around a lot longer than we have been.
Yeah, they've been around a long time, but what have they done?
Well, they've survived that long, so they must be doing something pretty good.
Well, apparently they sleep for 13 years, so really, even though they've been around for ages...
I think that sounds a bit... But I don't think they sleep for 13 years.
Not all of them, just the tired ones. So, snails, do we need them?
Well, yeah, I just think they've got to, just as, you know, it's not for us to say, do we need them or not, we can't.
So you think we should keep them?
Yeah, definitely.
Carl, I'm proud of you. That was getting really quite annoying. I know. What did he think he was doing? What? I don't know what you tell these people. I mean, you don't get their permission to play this out, do you? You just don't tell them.
The thing is, right, I sort of told him what it was about, but we won't say who he is or where he works, because it doesn't matter. I just needed to speak to someone who knows.
I know the fact that you were trying to get an answer out of him by suggesting that he would be safe, because he could look after jellyfish if he gave the okay to destroy snails.
He was getting livid, you could tell.
Oh, God. Brilliant. So he's been around a long time, but what have they done? Well, that was great, Carl. Play a record. Well done.
Bit of Amy Man.
Oh, I'm obsessed with this song, Red Vines. It's brilliant. I love that. Amy Man, Red Vines. XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington.
You mentioned earlier when we had our regular email from Dickie Anderson.
Yeah.
Randers, as I call him.
Dandy son.
Yeah. You mentioned it because we didn't get anything from him last week. We didn't get anything from him last week. Anyway, he's obviously listening. Rich, because he's emailed in to explain his absence. Dear Ricky, sorry for not tuning in last week. Only I was in HMV returning the 14 copies of The Office I got for Christmas. That's from Randers. So, he's explained himself.
Oh,
he's excused himself.
Oh, Anders, we should get him on one day.
Yeah.
Right, okay, Karl. That's ridiculous. 3 amazing scientific facts, one of which is spurious. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, 1. Girls can't throw because the part of their brain that allow men to throw properly in a girl is used up in emotion. 2. Gravity isn't instantaneous. It works at the speed of light. The force of gravity. 3. Statistically, you're more likely to be trampled by a donkey than dying in a plane crash.
Now, even though the last one sounds daft, I think I've read that. About the donkey thing.
Okay.
So, girls... What's the first one?
Girls can't throw properly because the part of the brain that allow men to throw is used up in emotion in a woman. Gravity isn't instantaneous, it works at the speed of light. So when you drop something, the force kicks in at the speed of light.
What do you reckon, Steve?
Well, it's not for me to say.
Is this a trick one where none of them are ridiculous? Or
No, one of those three. One of those 3 is not true.
Right, well, it's definitely not the donkey, right, so... I reckon the girl one, throwing stuff.
Is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well done.
Well
Very
done.
well done indeed.
Yeah.
Very well done indeed.
That's 2 out of 2 he's got so far.
Well, there you go. Well, I'll teach you some stuff now, right?
I've always been fascinated by the donkey fact, because it is an extraordinary fact that more people are killed apparently by donkeys
Yeah.
than they are by airplane crashes.
Well, I suppose in countries where they're used, and, use a lot, that, they go a bit mad and squash it.
But my concern is that when you go on a plane, there's so many checks. I mean, it takes 40 minutes to go through all the checks, the air pressure, the cabin pressure, the fuel, checking the, flights, the takeoff, all the rest of it. Our checks for donkeys.
Nothing.
Did someone close the gate? I think so.
Exactly,
That's our
Is he
donkey
annoyed?
check.
Is he annoyed or not? You're not working him too hard, are you? Yeah. He's got his hand. Is there 2 holes for the ears? Yes.
Well, I think that's what's happening. I don't think it's accident. I think they're picking us off. I think they're so annoyed that a nickname for them is ass.
Yeah.
And they've got to wear the little hat, they've got to ride give kids rides on the beach and that. I think they're just sort of annoyed.
Yeah.
Maybe they're sort of just picking us off one by one.
Yeah.
Teaching us a lesson.
If we had the same stringent checks on donkeys as we do on international flights, maybe there'd be a little stare.
Exactly. Wise words.
Cheers.
Wise, if slightly incoherent words.
Go on, Karl.
Got that right. Acid. I would sort you out with some science.
Brilliant. I forgot the puns in mind, didn't I? I forgot the puns.
Yeah.
Go on.
Right, so, you asked to sort of be taught some science and that last week after being taught about war, so, did some research. And, there's a few things, I think we'll just cover one of them now.
Go on.
We've talked a lot about hairy kids.
We have
I
discussed that a
love
lot.
the fact that Simon Sharma has never started a programme like that. The Jacobites. We've talked a lot about hairy kids. Go on.
It's a little bit, I mean, it's not your traditional science stuff, but it's still
More left
interesting
field.
and it's a little bit, it's still...
Yeah, we talk about hairy kids. We have disproportionately, honestly. I think this show's talked about hairy kids more than any other radio show.
Well, it's one that...
Sorry, I noticed both of you there dropped the H, or the H, or however it's pronounced.
I had to.
So airy
kids,
hairy children, not sort of airy, kind of light-headed or...
Yeah.
Well, there was the case of the one who lived in China.
Yeah.
And,
which was weird for 2 reasons, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, go on.
One was, he was covered in hair.
That's all really weird.
And the doctor sort of checked him over and said, well, yeah, he is hairy, but he's quite healthy, apart from he had a little bit of eczema and a boil. That was the main bit of the story, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But this one, right, we have sort of talked about it, and you weren't having any of it at the time.
What?
This next bit of science I'm telling you about.
Go on then.
Right? Remember when I told you about a lad who was living at home with his mum and dad, right? Everything's, normal life, go to school, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Then, I think his mum and dad had an argument, and it kicked off a bit, and he thought, I'm sick of this. It's happening all the time now. They kept having arguments, so the kid ran off into the woods.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Yep.
Right?
God.
Now, he left, he went and ran in the woods, and he ended up living with some monkeys.
Right.
Right? And he thought, this isn't a bad life, you know, there's no arguments going on.
Sure.
He was getting on with them. And the weird thing
bananas.
is, this is where the science bit comes in.
Oh, sure.
He grew a load of hair on his body.
That's not true. It's not true.
It is true.
It's an acquired characteristic.
I bet someone will back me up on this.
But no, you can't. You can't grow hair like that. You might get a little bit more down here. They might the erectile tissue might, you know, they won't fall out as much. That would, you know, but you don't actually grow a big mane if you're cold and you're a human.
Well, he did. He did. This lad did. I know it sounds a bit strange and that, but he was living with the monkeys, and because it was cold, his body reacted to it.
Listen. He was no hairier than he would have been if he was walking around naked on a cold day, with or without living with monkeys.
The fact that he was living with monkeys makes no difference.
No, I know, but I'm trying to get, you know, picture it in your head what it's like.
Although Mickey Dolenz was always pretty hairy.
Right? So, he was living with them, and he went into town or something one day to get some food, and the people there were like, hang on a minute, that isn't a monkey.
He went in naked.
No, he was there covered in hair.
Yeah, but naked, but covered in hair, so it was decent. It was.
Yeah. But that was a weird thing. They thought it was a monkey in the shop. And then
so presumably he had a big long beard as well, because he couldn't shave, could he?
No, he's just covered. He looked like a monkey.
And they were happy to serve the monkey, were they? There's a monkey buying a newspaper and some milk.
How did he walk, Carl? Did he walk upright or whistling along?
The picture that I saw on the internet, he was on all fours, but I don't know if that's when he was running away after they'd sort of, you know, realised he was a kid. But this was a picture.
So he was a kid as well, he wasn't even like an adult with the beard?
No, he was a kid.
Brilliant.
And
the beard kicked in a little bit.
So listen, so the people caught him.
You're an idiot.
The people caught him, shaved him, right? Got it all off, didn't grow back again.
Right.
You're an idiot.
Well, like I say, people will have heard this story or read about it.
You're an idiot.
And they'll email in, they don't let me down.
And they'll agree that you're an idiot.
No, they'll have seen the story.
You're an idiot.
So that's a little bit of science.
You're an idiot.